a regular basis, but our chiefs are not remunerated properly. I was absolutely horrend when I saw a picture of a politician sitting on the throne of Bunza. Politicians should not think that they are higher than the authority of the palaces. When you enter that palace, respect the authority in that palace. And when I entered that palace, I sat on the ground and allowed our traditional leaders to be there. We will ensure that our traditional leaders are respected and that they are brought up to decision-making level and not being fed decisions made by people. And we'll ensure also in this country that democracy really trumps. We will not have ministers who are appointed going to dissolve elected members of local authorities. That is not what the Article 1, Sub-Article 2 states in our Constitution. All power shall be vested in the people of Namibia, who shall exercise their sovereignty through democratically elected institutions. Cabinet is not a democratically elected institution. A minister is not a democratically elected institution. He's appointed, and he cannot have more powers than the elected local authority councillors. We will not have any appointed governors, because that is contrary to Article 1, Sub-Article 2, which says the powers lies in a democratic institution. A governor is not a democratic institution, and consequently we will seek to change that. We will also seek to ensure that the powers of the president is trimmed. In Article 27, the Namibian president simply has got too much power. Head of state, head of government affairs in parliament. We need to make sure that the president consults before they take those decisions. We cannot accumulate all the powers in one person to make those decisions at their discretion. It's not his power, it's the powers of the people of Namibia. And if these powers are going to be exercised, they have to be exercised responsibly and with due regard to the needs of the people, not due regard to the needs of a few. We have had a lot of time where our economy has been benefiting a few people. We will ensure that there is equitable distribution of the wealth of our people. We will make sure that those that are benefiting from our mines, we share in the benefit of that so that our people can triumph. How could we have all this wealth and yet our people have got no water, electricity in many of the villages? Yet 9-year-olds are walking a long distance of 5 kilos with buckets of water on their head. Some of them even water that is dangerous to their health. Why is it possible that a lot of countries have electrified their rural populations, yet we could not succeed in 30 years to electrify 2.5 people's electricity? How can we ask people to go to education and use technology when we don't even have facilities in those? We don't have any computers in those. We don't even have people trained to be able to actually use those computers and teach our children. If you want to match with the current trend of the world in electronic advanced age, we need to ensure that our people are properly prepared and we are properly resourced. Our hospitals are falling apart. Our doctors are giving up. Many of them have actually good specialists travel to other countries to deliver their skills in those countries. We need to ensure that the wealth that the other people are taking out of this country is back to this country. We need to ensure as well that we do not sell our wealth to anybody. How could you, in terms of Article 95, exploit sustainably the natural resources of this country for the benefit of our people and the benefit of future generations, and yet you sell a mine? What about private property? You cannot control how that person is exploiting that. We cannot have 90% of our people living on 10% of our land. We need to rethink the land issue very carefully. We can also not have people negotiating on behalf of people who suffered during the genocide when the offsprings of those people are alive and they can take center stage in that. We will encourage the Herero and the Nama people to take center stage in making sure that they are in the negotiations, just as the Israels and the Jews and the Germans did. Why is it different for Namibia? We will encourage Ombara Ochitambi, Maharero, and the traditional council of the Nama people to take center stage. It is your past, it is the past of your people. You were tortured and genocide was committed to your people before the Constitution of the Republic of Namibia. Consequently, the Republic of Namibia should be an observer in those negotiations. And the Nama people to have restitution. And what they then do is within the realms of a unitary state. We need to understand that whereas we are talking about ancestral land, etc., we need to be conscious of Article 1 of the Namibian Constitution, which says that we are founded as sovereign, secular, democratic, a unitary state. We cannot go back to the addendum plan of 1964 and carve up Namibia into Bantu states. We need to think about equitable distribution of land, so that our people can work on it productively, so that we can guard how they are doing and empower them to do so. Nobody wants to live on a land and destroy it, and therefore our government shall ensure that our people benefit from the land. Land was the reason why Maharero, Vetboy, Hermanes van Veek, and all our leaders, Chamwaha, and all the Kahimemos, and the Ipumbi Ashilongos, the Hompas, and the Fumas, and all our Indunas. Land was what they fought for, and land is what we shall ensure our people receive, and their dignity will be restored. Without land, you cannot have dignity.